Let's take a look at the global market highlights and news for April 1st, 2014. Google finalizes the stock split. The Fed continuing to support the labor market, and gold closed with a loss for a fourth day in a row. Let's take a quick look at what's happening in the global markets now. European shares trade slightly higher on Monday, although lower inflation data failed to support sentiment. U.S. equities started the week on a positive note, ignoring a weaker than expected Chicago PMI. In a speech to a Chicago Community Reinvestment Conference on Monday, Yellen said that the recovery still feels like a recession to many Americans, which is why the central bank will keep its extraordinary support for the economy for some time to come. Earlier stocks were boosted by hopes of monetary stimulus from the European Central Bank after Eurozone inflation fell to its lowest level since 2009. The S&P 500 rose 16 points to 1873.35, only about 5 points shy from the record closing high. The biggest data of the week will come on Friday when the U.S. employment reports for March are due. Economists are expecting big numbers, which would help soothe investor worries about the economy. Asian markets ended mixed. The Shanghai Composite fell as investors wait for clarity from Beijing on possible new stimulus measures. The index has lost almost 4% this year on worries over slower economic growth in China. Attention Google investors, you're about to get twice as many shares in a change meant to help Larry and Sergey maintain control over the tech powerhouse. The much-awaited Google 2-for-1 stock split is finally happening on Wednesday, April 2nd, when shareholders will get 2 shares for every 1 they owned. One set of shares, called Class A, will trade under the new ticker symbol Google minus the E, and the other Class C will be listed under the company's historic ticker GOOG. In the foreign exchange market, the euro rose against the dollar after Eurozone inflation fell, but not by enough to strengthen bets on further easing from the European Central Bank this week. Meanwhile, the dollar neared a 3-week high against the yen. Inflation in the Eurozone fell to 0.5% on an annual basis in March from 0.7% in February, according to a preliminary estimate out Monday. That's the lowest reading since 2009. Economists had expected a reading of 0.6% according to a Reuters survey. The euro initially fell on data, then recovered ground to trade at 1.3774. The dollar rose to 103.02 yen. The Australian dollar climbed to 0.9276. For the month, the Aussie has jumped 3.9%. The dollar index, a measure of the dollar's strength against 6 rivals, eased 80.069. In the commodity space, gold closed with a loss for a 4th day in a row, with a slew of economic reports expected to create some volatile sessions throughout the week. But the precious metal still scores a quarterly gain of nearly 7%. Gold settled at $1283.80 an ounce, a fall of actually 10.50. That was the lowest settlement for a most active contract since February 10th. Oil traded mostly lower as disappointing data in a Chicago area business contributed to a pullback in prices from a nearly 3-week high, but hopes for stimulus measures from China provided some support, leaving the commodity on track for a quarterly rise. Crude oil fell 22 cents to 101.45. This is Amy Anderson from Option Rally signing off. And of course, I'm waiting for your like below if you enjoyed today's Market Watch. Have a great day.